That is St Mary's Peak. You're in the Flinders Ranges of South Australia. That is Wilpena Pound. Join two Aussies as we explore and hang out in one of Australia's most beautiful outback regions. We're in the Flinders Ranges National Park, and we are at the trailhead here at Wilpena Pound. Here, my wonderful inspirational hiking buddy, my beautiful wife Linda, and we're here at the trailhead. And today we are going to climb Mount Olen and look over the spectacular Wilpena Pound. We've made our way a little bit along the creek and we're heading up Mount Olen. So that's the creek through the pound, which is a one big oval of mountains. And that's where we're climbing up, that guy there. For those of you who are curious, St Mary's Peak's in the opposite direction, that way. So as you can see, you need to be a little bit prepared and can get a little hot and sweaty up there, huh? So here we are at the peak of Mount Olen, 923 metres in the Wilpena Pound, Flinders National Park. For those of you who watch my videos at Outback Bound, please subscribe. If you're from the Adelaide Hills, Mount Lofty is 710 metres. My Mount Kosciuszko video, two of them, 2228 metres, which is the highest elevation in Australia. And I've been to the Mount Hotham and Falls Creek, is around 1800 metres. And I've been to Everest Base Camp, check that one out on my YouTube channel, 5,365 metres. But this is at 23 metres. So we'll be heading also to St Mary's Peak, which is higher again. Spectacular Australian bush for my overseas watchers, particularly from Nepal and India. You'll see it's a different colour here in Australia in these outback regions. Well, it's late September and today's forecast is about 30, and we took off at 7:40 and it's now, I don't know, nearly 11. You wouldn't want to be heading up here now, it's getting quite warm. So glad we're on the nearly back down and not heading up. That's why they don't want anyone starting to hike after 1 p.m. Made it back. 7.5 k's. Go early. Morning folks, it's a bit after 7 a.m. A little bit of cloud around, which is good. At the trailhead to St Mary's Peak, planning to go the outside track, climb up to St Mary's Peak, back down through the Pound, well over 20 kilometres. Unfortunately, my hiking partner, she got a migraine. She toughed it out yesterday, but she can't do it again today. So it's one Aussie only to St Mary's Peak. It's going to be a long, tough day. Got plenty of water, plenty of food, ready to roll. Off we go. So here we are on the outside track, basically the outside rim of this oval of mountains, and that's where we're heading. So along the edge, and then eventually we'll turn left and climb up. Okay, the undulating up and down around the outside edge is over for about 5 or 6 k's, and now it's time for us to climb. Making our way up. Give you a quick 360. We've come from this direction here towards the lower mountains, looking north and east, and there it is. If you're wondering if it's steep sometimes, yep it is. Just come up through there, climbing up, and if you look carefully that way, you'll see a blue tag. One in close here, one up there. She's pretty steep sometimes. So here I am on the Tandera saddle. There's the Wilpena Pound airstrip that way. Plane coming across here now, and St Mary's Peak there in the background. Brought back all kinds of memories for me. I first climbed this when I was 15, and then I climbed it again with my dad when I was 22, then another time with Linda, and then another time with some brothers-in-law. First came up here with my uncle 41 years ago, and then, but not been here for 15 years. I remember we climbed up here as a family, and Linda and Taylor, but my sons then were 8 and 10, and fair dinkum, I could hardly keep up with them. They scrambled to the top of that thing from the bottom. So for those of you with parents of young kids, they can go pretty quickly. Oh, wedge toe eagle right there now. There it is, there it is. Just in the clouds now. Not bad. Spectacular, isn't it? We're getting closer to it. Back in the olden days, in the 80s and 90s, you used to scramble on this face up to the top. A couple of times it was a bit scary and a bit sketchy, but these days not so much. It'll lead us around the back of St. Mary's Peak up to the top. Still coming up the back of St. Mary's Peak. But you get to see the view looking to the east. The length of the oval shape. The Pound, which we're going to be heading back down in through. Still got to go that way yet. Trona Gorge, I reckon, down there, the western end of the Pound. That heads out towards Parachilna and off to Lake Torrens, I reckon. Heading out to the desert. Nearly there. Made it. St. Mary's Peak. Sunny now. Hardly a zephyr of breeze. Hardly a zephyr. How's this ridgeline here heading north? Looking west towards Mount Torrens. I stand corrected, because I think Frome's the other way. Trona Gorge, the mountains of the Wilpena Pound. Looking east. Wilpena Pound Resort camping grounds down that way. Can't be that windy up here. There's butterflies up here. Incredible. I think the highest point in the Flinders Ranges, 1171 meters. Spectacular. In the distance you might be able to see, most likely not, you can hear that little small aircraft. And if you look down this cliff face of this mountain next door, carefully you'll see a trail that heads down into the Pound. You'd have to squint. That's the trail back down into the Pound from the Tandera saddle that I'll be taking. But here's the plane behind me now. Little known fact is I was a pilot once, and back in 1987 when I was just 20 years old, I brought a mum and a dad and their 3 little kids in a Piper Arrow, and we landed at Arpena Station, on the eastern edge here, and I had mum and dad and the 3 kids in this little plane. We'd land on these station strips, sleep in a creek bed on a tarpaulin, and I took them on a joy flight through here, straight over from the eastern side over the west here and around. So that was back when I was younger, something like 36 years ago. And then we flew up to the Gammon Ranges and landed at Blachina. Incredible spot for a flight. You might be able to see it now. There's a trail that runs down the bottom of those rocky faces. That's the trail back down into the Pound. That's the one I'm taking back through inside on the way back to camp. It's a good 12 kilometers still from the saddle back home. Okay, I've been coming down the saddle now for about 45 minutes. You can see it's difficult walking, but it's a gentle descent. Because as you can see, the pound is like a big oval bowl. And all the mountains have the gentle ascent, and then the outside is the steep side. So heading down into the middle of this big oval bowl, which is known as the pound. Back 100 years ago they tried to farm here in Wilpena Pound. What a perfect situation it seemed. Mountains, the only way to get through was through the creek, which we're heading back through to finish this walk. Mountains surrounding, no need for fences, but you need rain. And drought was the thing that caused the end of the homestead and the attempt to grow wheat here in Wilpena Pound. Heading back now via Wilpena Creek. We've just seen the Hills homestead, built in 1888. Of course, it's now a national park, but farming failed. Not enough rain around here. And as you can see, it's late September and there's hardly a thing down there in that creek, the main creek that runs through and the only way out of the pound. Oh, here we go. There's a few little pools of water in Wilpena Creek. Not that I'd be drinking it. Well, I've made it back. Bit over 21 k's, bit over 7 hours, 1,000 meters of elevation. How am I feeling? Fatigued, tired, sore feet. Big long day. Amazing trip though. Worth doing. Here's our campground at Wilpena Pound. A little bit chilly in the mornings. Well, today Linda and I are out on our bikes. We've come out of Wilpena Pound and that's Mount Olen Baggy there. And off in the distance is St Mary's Peak, the big one to the right. It's a beautiful day. We'll ride around here and then head up to Brachina Gorge. Riding through the old Wilpena Station homestead, now part of the national park. How's the girth of this tree here? Oh, goodness me. Mount Olen Baggy, an Aboriginal meeting place here in old Wilpena Station, and off into the distance, St Mary's Peak. Wilpena Pound airstrip. That's where they all take off and land. On our little journey here, we've ended up at the Casnio tree. What's famous about the Casnio tree, other than it's a really remarkable looking tree? Harold Casnio was an early settler, famous photographer, and in 1937 he took a photo of this tree, and it stands in memoriam, as well does this tree in 2023. Left Wilpena Pound Resort, camping there. We are now in Brachina Gorge at Trona Campground, and Wilpena Pound off there in the distance. Here we are, got our fire going, and we're going to have a stir fry. Looking forward to that. New morning. Fresh day, beautiful day here in Flinders. We're at the Trona Trailhead. It's an interesting spot because it's at the intersection of the Hyson Trail, which heads off that way, and the Murtle Trail, which crosses Brachina Creek here at Brachina Gorge. So we're going to take the Murtle Trail for a while and have a look around here and look back on Wilpena Pound. Kangaroo! Well, I've come about 15 k's, 15 and a half k's up Murtle Trail. Head back. Some of it's a bit difficult, quite rocky. Some of it's lovely. A bit tricky in places. Wilpena Pound range in the... I stand corrected from that last clip. There's more Rawsley Bluff in then. St Mary's Peak as I swallow another fly. What I said was Wilpena Pound range. It's not, it's the ABC range here. So Wilpena Pound off in the distance, ABC range here. And a little bit of sustenance for my ride. I swallowed 2 flies in the last 5 minutes. Oh yeah! Takes the creek with style. Come on, get that excellent bike, e-bike going now. Right, back to camp. Trona campground here at Brachina Gorge. 31 k's, 1250 meters of elevation. Now, some of the great rail trails of Australia have cafes along the way, Everest Base Camp tea houses. Here on the Murtle Trail, natural sustenance, 2 flies, no coffee. Might have one now, over the campfire. Linda and I have snuck off for a drive this afternoon, up to the beautiful historic town of Blindman in the northern Flinders. Great stone buildings, great character. And this is one of the original early settlers' places. It's got, you know, pug and pine, little place. One of Linda's mates knows people up here from up this way. So we're going to have a look at this old place. How's that? This for character. Great place. And the Flinders, you also get yourself a decent sausage roll and a coffee, let me tell you. Awesome. Is that Queen Victoria? I stand corrected. Bedroom. Not great air conditioning. Living room. Ooh, and here we go, out the back. Don't know how well the GoPro's going in here, but another fireplace. I can't find the ensuite bathroom. Oh, and there's the entertainment game of quoits. No LED smart TV. That's the entertainment here. Little cooking outhouse here next to the main house.
They kept that going 24/7.
You get your hot water off the side over there.
Oh yeah.
But you'd have to fill it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty common thing for you. That'd be for your bars.
And of course, sit on the veranda, overlooking the stone building of the Memorial Hall, the park, the tennis club.
Oh my goodness! Oh!
Stop it. There you go.
Straight hook.
I can see you. Yellow-footed rock wallaby. Echidna. Right here. Right by our campsite. We've left the northern Flinders and we've come further south. We're at a station stay, our Murtle Station, and it is kind of in between Corn, Carrington area. So on the Orroroo to Craddock Road, so it's a station owned by the Rose, run by the Rose. And here we are. What an amazing spot. It's called the Waterview Camp. I don't think we are, I don't know, we're a kilometre away from anybody here. They've got these different campgrounds across their property. At our Murtle Station here, there's about 10, 12 private camp spots, well away from anyone else, and each has their own private toilet ensuite. Yep, so there's our camp there. Here's our ensuite. I had to show you this one because how's the character of this arrangement here? Amazing. I won't show you anymore. Linda and I have headed out on a bike ride around these trails around our Murtle Station. There's our camp way off to the distance. I think this is Gum Creek. This is the Mount James Range. We're heading this way. This is Stare Down. Here we're near the homestead. Look at this magnificent beast.
Very friendly. That scared me. Oh, are you going to come and say hello to me now?
It's quite the stare down. It's a showdown. Oh, taming the big bay horse. Here on our Murtle Station is the Yan Yarri Post Office. Now, once upon a time in the olden days, well over 100 years ago, there was a postal service that went from Burra to Blindman via Yan Yarri here, through to Aqaba, Wilpena to Blindman. And as you can see, a bit like Australia Post Service, I think Linda's trying to get a letter, kind of symbolic of Australia Post's most recent financial report. But, anyway, this was part of the trade route once upon a time. Didn't last, did it? Bit like a ladder, next day delivery. Did we do something wrong? Outpace it! Outpace it! Come on now! On our Murtle, they have this little mountain called the Bluff. That's it there. We're going to go climb it and get some views of the area of the station and Mount James Range. Getting up the bluff was beyond my skill level, too technical. So Linda and I are hiking to the top, up this path. Made it. Top of the bluff. The Mount James Range there. Our camp is off in the distance at that creek down that way. Looking more north towards Corn is in that direction. Now looking more south, kind of in the Orroroo direction. and back down to the Murtle Station homestead. Then there's a natural spring here, which makes a little bit of a creek running through. Gives all the sheep a bit of a drink. Our last evening, Murtle Station. Beautiful sunset.